I couldn't ask for a better agent, for a better company in a time like this, in a disaster where you have no idea where to start.
I learned that there's not a given in life. It takes a team. There's people that are going to watch out for us and that care.
It's been pretty stressful. Once we saw Lori and got our plan, it's a lot better now.
It was like a huge weight lifted.
Welcome back to the Missouri Sports Network, MissouriSportsNetwork.com, where everyone has a home field advantage. Presented by Central Bank of the Ozarks, Laborers Local 663, who remind us to drive carefully in work zones. Everyone wants to go home safe every night. Also presented by the Bank of Billings, established 1889, the oldest bank in Christian County. Also presented by Shelter Insurance Agents Grant Baker in Aurora, Sean Holman in Lockwood. Great Southern Bank with more than 600 locations that care as much about your money as you do. Doak Propane right here in Bolivar, Missouri. For all your propane needs, it's about barbecue season once again here in Southwest Missouri. And as part of our Country Financial Team of the Week, we go to Norwood High School and head coach Shane Chadwell, 33-1 on the season, Class 2 state champions. Coach, has it sunk in yet?
It's starting to, yes. It's starting to sleep a little bit better at night and starting to kind of hit home.
Coach, not many folks get to win the last game they play each season, and you've done it in back-to-back seasons with a third-place finish a year ago.
Yeah, I had a coach tell me one time winning third's almost better than winning second just because of you get to win your last game. And so we were fortunate to go last year and kind of come up short in the semifinal game, but found a way to win in the third place game. And then this year it was a little bit more business, and kids had a determination to win it. And a few balls bounced our way, and we were fortunate to come out with a win.
You know, we've had coaches on throughout this week, whether it be El Dorado Springs, who lost last year in the quarterfinal game. You had West Plains, who lost in the championship game, a year ago. And they talked about walking out of that locker room there at the Final Four, where they kind of made a pact. Hey, we're gonna win it next year. They had a lot coming back. What was the attitude that coming into the season, coming out of last season into this season? Was that something that kind of surrounded this team?
Yeah, from day one, they had a taste for going to the Final Four last year, and they kind of were on a mission this year, and we returned a lot of guys from last season. And from day one, they said we want to go win a state championship. And it's hard to do that. Every team, of course, has goals at the beginning of the year, but we beefed up our schedule. Wasn't thinking we would be with one loss after Christmas, and beat some good teams, some bigger schools. Was fortunate to schedule some of those, and which I think prepared us for playoffs in the Final Four. But they were just determined, and I could just tell a different approach this year than last year when we went to the Final Four this year. So it was more business.
As you go back to that solo loss of the season, coming back on December the 30th, you lose to a very good Thayer team. Then you rattle off 21 in a row. Did that loss kind of refocus you there at that point heading into 2022?
It did. Thayer's a really good club, and I think that they beat us by 14 or 17 or so, and it really was a closer game than that throughout the whole game. We just 2 possessions. We lost a kid, and he hit 2 threes, and they had a 4-point lead at the time, so had pushed it to 10. But and then you have to do the foul thing. So it did. It kind of refocused us, and we realized how good we possibly could be. I feel like we played them again. Again, they could beat us, but we could also beat them as well. But we kind of realized how good we possibly can be, and we knew how good Thayer was, and Thayer went on to beat several big schools. And so, again, with us beating some other people, we realized we had to keep our focus. But it did kind of make us realize, we have some more work to do, and but we did that.
And not an easy road as you look at the last 3 contests you played in the quarterfinal game, the semifinal game, the championship game. A total of 10 points separates you in all 3 of those games combined. So averaging 3.5 points a game victory, including the 64-63 1-point win in the state championship. Kind of take us through those 3 games.
Yeah, again, our district championship game, we just won by 2. We had a big lead or a decent lead and kind of blew it. But, I say at the end of the year, everybody gives you your best shot. They realize this is the last one, and your seniors are going, hey, we're not going to quit till it's over. And so, the district championship game was a close one. Quarterfinal game, went and played a good Eugene team and kind of jumped on them early. And then our sectional game, and then our quarterfinal game, or sectional game, I can't keep it straight. But we had played Bishop LeBon, and they had the lead. We had the lead. The lead changes in that game probably were about 10 lead changes. And I tell the kids, I think our experience, played a factor, and they just found a way to win. We had some different players throughout the whole end of the year just step up late in the game. Then we went to our semifinal game, and again had a big lead, and we had a 14-point lead at one time, and they come back and got 4 ahead. And most times you lose that game just because the momentum shifts. And we called a timeout, and I just said, guys, we didn't come all this way to lose it. And we found a way to get back up on top and just finish a ball game. And then the Bernie game, championship game, that could have went either way. They controlled the game most of the game, probably led it for 75% of the game. These kids just have no quit, and they find a way to win. And free throws, I was telling them from day one, free throws win ball games. And in the championship game, we were 17 for 19. So I think that was a big factor. But again, just different kids stepping up at different times, which again, a collective win for all of them.
All right, now take the viewers here through that last 60 seconds of that Bernie game. That was a game that coaches and players dream about every time in the dream you come out on top. And you guys came out on top, but kind of take us through that last 60 seconds.
Yeah. Again, we had trailed and they threw some a double team on Garrett and went triangle on the rest of the guys. And I said, guys, somebody else. And I told Garrett, you've got us here, but your teammates are going to have to take us home when we went to the Final Four. And he had some teammates step up. And, they were getting the rim on us really well early. And so we went zone and made them hit some shots. And it felt like they were hitting more than what they were. They were 9 for 29 from the 3-point line. It felt like they were hitting every other shot. But, the kids just, when I say find a way to win, but there was, I think, 30 seconds left. We finally score, and we're down 1, and we continued to trap. And again, just, we talk about leaving it on the floor, and we had a kid dive on the floor to get a steal. And it's kind of that, storyline. He passes it to Garrett, which has been one of our go-to guys all year, and he gets open for a layup. And then, they called timeout. We had to get a stop, and we always talk about getting that one stop. And 3 years ago, we'd lost some games by not being able to get stops. And these kids, they were young, and so we talk about that one stop, and we had to actually get 2 stops because we got the first stop and it went out of bounds on us, and then they drew up a play, and we had to get one more stop, and they did that. And a rebound. So, defense, they talk about defense wins championships. It did in this case, but it was just a collective throughout the whole game of just kids stepping up. But the last minute and a half is just wild.
Again, visiting with Norwood Pirate head coach Shane Chadwell here on the Country Financial Team of the Week. Class 2 state champions. And, Coach, you've got your core group in there. You can start where you'd like. We'll go one at a time and visit with some of the players.
All right, Garrett DeVault is right here. I've got Max Mcgowan, who's played a point guard spot for us. Noah Drake was a freshman that come in off the bench for us. Jacob Sinning was a starter for us. Gavin Mcgraw was a starter for us. Justin Chadwell was a starter for us, played a good minutes inside. And then Peyton Mcderris coming off the bench for us as a freshman.
Okay. So where do I start with the freshman? Or
That's fine, freshman.
With Garrett? Okay. Garrett, we'll start with you. Garrett, tell us a little bit about your thoughts as you're making this run. But first, go back to the beginning of the season. What were your goals coming into this season, team wise and individual wise?
Well, yeah, we all sit down and talk with each other, and we all have the same common goal: state championship. That's what everybody's goal is going the season. I mean, that's what your goal should be if you're good. But I knew to myself, I'm like, we have a good district. We got probably the toughest way to get there, and just to finish it off with the goal we accomplished, it's insane. And my goal throughout the season was just do what it takes to win. I averaged probably the most assists I have. I probably had more assists this year than I did all 3 years combined, so that was good for me.
Go back to that Seymour game, that 2-point game in that district championship. Kind of take us through that as a player, being the favorite, going into that district championship. What was going through your mind there, and you get a 2-point victory?
Yeah, we were all hyped up to play. I mean, we came in the locker room wanting to put it on them, and we got up on them just like we should have. It took us a little while to get up on them, and then I felt like at the end of the game, I just let my teammates down. I missed a lot of free throws, turned over the ball, but they picked me up, and we did what we had to win. And if you win a district championship, you can't be mad at yourself. You got to be happy with what happened.
Now going into the state championship, that last 60 seconds, and Coach talked about getting a steal, you get the layup, then you got to get 2 stops. Take us from your point of view through getting the pass from the steal, making the layup. You go up 1. Now what are you thinking about?
Well, at first I was sitting there. I'm like, I'm helpless. I'm sitting there. They're guarding me 2 guys, and I knew somebody had to step up, and we stepped up. They fouled Peyton, and he hit both the free throws just like I knew he would. And then we were back into our full court press, and they kind of broke it. They got away with it. The kid that just missed a free throw had the ball, and he was trying to give it up because he was a little nervous. I don't know if he was or not, but he was trying to give it up. And Peyton dives on the floor. Gavin and Peyton have a really good trap, and I do what I do the best. I leak out and try to get a layup, and I got the layup, and it was just crazy. And at the end, the last stop, I didn't think it went off Jacob. Maybe it did, but we had to get another one, and it was meant to be. Justin made a good stop. I told Justin, I'm like, he may fake right and go back to the block, and he did, and Justin did what he had to do.
Okay, so the horn goes off. You win. Who you looking for? What's going through your mind at that point?
Well, I looked up at my dad, and I was just excited because he coached us all growing up, and it was just a great moment. And then I took a victory lap like everybody's probably saw on the news and stuff, and I didn't even know what to think. It was insane.
Has it calmed down now? Are you still getting messages?
I've calmed down a little bit. It probably took me a week to calm down and think about all of it, but it's a crazy accomplishment. It's just insane. It's amazing.
As you look back on your high school career, what are some moments? Obviously, that one's going to be at the top of the list. What are some other moments that stand out that 20 years from now you'll be telling your kids about?
Well, just like when we came in as freshmen, I was probably 5'10". I was tiny, and we won 10 games that year, and I was really impressed with us, and that was the stepping stone to get us started. And then the next year we beat a good Chadwell team to make it to the district championship, and we just keep getting better. We just kept getting better, kept maturing, and we finished off what everybody wants to finish off their high school career with, and I'll never forget it.
And a lot of times when I talk with coaches and players, and you talk about the wins and the losses, and you guys have had such success, especially on the coaches' side, they remember more about the losses, the ones that got away, that you'd like to go back and play. Are there games in your career you'd like to go back and play again? And maybe it's a state championship game because you had a ball, but it may be one that got away from you. Hey, we could have won that. Maybe I'd like to go back and do that again.
Yeah, I mean, for me, last year I'd like to go back and play Campbell again because we just weren't ready for the physicality. But there's a lot of games sophomore year I'd like to go back and play. We just missed and could have had a few more wins. But I can't complain about my career. It's been nothing but amazing. My teammates got me the ball every time I'd ask for it, and they never complained, and they did what they had to do, and we did what we have to do to win it all.
And on behalf of Country Financial, congratulations for being part of the team of the week here at the Missouri Sports Network. But Garrett Duvall, also a Chevy Dealers of the Ozarks Athlete of the Week, and got to, and I believe this is correct, the Class 2 Player of the Year.
Yep, it's a real honor.
Outstanding. Well, Garrett, congratulations for the accolades, and we look forward to seeing you in the future.
Thank you.
You bet. Coach, who do we have next?
Max Mcgowan, point guard.
Max, how are you, sir?
Good. How are you?
I am good. Tell us a little bit about, from your point of view, from that Seymour game on.
Oh man, it's just crazy. We kind of struggled late in the fourth quarter, to hit free throws and kind of blew a lead, but we just found a way to win, and that's all that matters at the end of the day. Getting a state or a district championship, you can't complain.
And then those last 3 games, as I mentioned earlier, you won by a total of 10 points in those last 3 games. As a point guard, you've got the ball in your hands a lot of those minutes. What are you thinking about? How are you kind of overcoming the pressure of that experience?
Yeah, it's kind of crazy sometimes, just trying to do what I do best, just trying to get it up the floor. But I look to Garrett a lot, and he kind of gets me through a lot of it. So.
Max, take us through that last 60 seconds in the state championship game from your point of view.
Last 60 seconds of the championship.
Oh, yeah. You wouldn't. You wouldn't really want it that close, being on the floor. But as a game to watch, it don't get much better than that. The folks that paid their $10 or whatever it was to get in, they got their money's worth. So.
You got your money's worth as well. But where were you when the horn sounded and you realized that you were a state champion?
Oh man, I just running around everywhere. I didn't really know what to think. It just all didn't seem real. We come into the year, we all sat in the same room, just sat down. We wrote on the board we wanted to win a state championship, and then finally the moment came, and it just didn't even feel real.
Yeah. Well, now you're senior as well. Yeah. Take us through maybe what your plans are for next year.
Hopefully just try and stay in shape. Maybe play some old man ball or something. So that's about all I have planned.
All right. You attending college or anything?
No.
Okay. All right. Well, very good. Well, on behalf of Country Financial, congratulations on being named a Team of the Week and Class 2 state champions.
Thank you.
You bet. Coach, who's next?
Let's go with Jacob Sitting, one of our other seniors.
Jake, how are you?
Doing good. How are you doing?
I'm good. All right. Senior state championship and ended just like you drew it up. What are your thoughts on this year?
This is probably the most fun year I've ever had playing basketball. Obviously, it's easy to have fun when you win a lot, but just all these memories, there'll be stuff we'll be telling our kids one day. It was just a lot of fun.
What are 2 or 3 of the top memories that you have?
Well, definitely winning state. That was the top one. Going in there, quarterfinals was a really fun game too. We played a good College Heights team, and that was just a fun game. It was back and forth the whole game. And I'd say that was probably the second most fun game I played in this season.
Where were you when the horn went off, and what was your reaction?
I was on the block. I was trying to get a rebound, but ended up getting it. And then whenever that horn went off, I was just ecstatic. I didn't even know what to think. I was just running with my hands in the air. And then next thing I know, Max was tackling me to the ground, and we started a dog pile.
Who, your phones have to have blown up. Who's the first person you heard from about congratulating you on your phone? Who sends you text?
My phone would have been probably my family from out of state, but the first person I thought of was my dad. He's always been there. He's tough on me, but for a reason. He's the first person I thought of whenever we won.
All right, outstanding. And again, congratulations on behalf of Country Financial.
Thank you.
You bet. Coach,
next
who
one,
we have
Justin
next?
Chadwell, our big guy in the middle.
Justin, how are you?
I'm doing all right. How are you?
I'm good. And what grade are you?
What grade are you? Oh, senior.
Senior. Okay, take us through this from your point of view. What was it like?
It's crazy. Every team's dream is to win a state championship. Not many get to do it. We did.
Where were you when the horn went off?
I was guarding the kid who got the shot off. They threw it in bounds. Luckily, Garrett had told me to step over. I nicked the ball on the pass. He caught it off balance, barely got a shot off. I turned around trying to box him out, but I saw he airballed it. Garrett grabbed the ball, and horn went off. I just started running like a wild man because, man, you got to get that energy out. You just won state, You can't – no words to describe it, really.
How long did that euphoria last? You had to have been on cloud 9. How long did it last?
I'm going to be honest. I think I'm still on it a little bit, but really that night I couldn't sleep at all. Just because I know I didn't – once I went to sleep, it's over. Our season's done, so I couldn't sleep that night. Hard to sleep the next night too, but really after that, just I think it kind of all settled in that was our last dance, our last run.
How good does it feel knowing that you won a state championship the last time you were in a high school uniform?
it's crazy, you know. Just nobody can take that away from you. Your last game, you won it. You're the king. You can't. You're the champ. You know.
Very good. Well, hey, on behalf of Country Financial, congratulations.
Yeah, thank you. I appreciate it.
You bet.
Our
Who do we
next
have
will be
next?
Gavin Mcgraw.
Gavin,
Yeah,
how are you, sir?
I'm good.
All right, tell us a little bit about your experience here in the state championship.
Yeah, it was pretty crazy. I'm just excited to have my last like game with them and win with them and have that state championship with them because I've been playing with them all my life and it's pretty exciting.
Do you go back? Do you go back to maybe 9 or 10 years old and remember games you played there? You know, because I even at my age, I can remember a lot of those games. Are those things you look back on as part of your fond memories?
Yeah, I like looking back and just thinking of all the good memories I had when I was younger with all of them and everything.
Where were you when the horn went off?
I'm pretty sure I was up in the air jumping, but yeah, I was just running around everywhere and it's crazy.
Yeah. Are there moments throughout this season or your career that you're not going to forget?
Yeah, definitely those state championship and last year when we lost to Campbell, that was pretty sad and everything. And I just really wish we could go back and have that game because we just didn't come out like we usually do. And yeah.
So what's in your future?
I'm not for sure yet, but I got next year, and we have our freshmen coming in, and then we have our two sophomores that were our two coming guys this year, and I'm excited.
Well, Gavin, hey, congratulations on behalf of Country Financial.
Thank you.
And our next player,
Peyton Mcderris. He's on this side. He's the guy that dove on the floor to get Garrett the ball.
you say Cade?
Peyton.
Peyton. Okay, Peyton, how are you?
I'm very good. How are you?
Good. Tell us about that. Did you knock it out of his
crazy
hand?
moment. The last minute we were down 2, and after we got that dive on the ball and the layup, it was really just had to focus. You can't lose your mind yet. And those last few seconds when they got the ball in their side, he hit everything. Their guard hit literally every shot. And once that shot went up and we saw the air ball, I just went crazy.
Take us back to the trap and diving on the floor. Did you knock the ball out of his hands, or how did it get on the floor?
Well, the guy who had the ball previously, he had turned around and kind of dumped it off to their main guard, and he just kind of fumbled the ball. And as soon as I saw it on the ground, I just jumped, tried to get it. Had no really intentions. I just wanted the ball in my hands, not in theirs. So kind of went our way. And
it did, and you saw the layup go in. So that had to be, euphoric.
Yes.
So the air ball, then where do you go? Who are you running around like everybody? Everybody chasing Garrett, or what's going on?
Well, I ran straight to the pep club. They were big for us all season, but honestly, I just kind of stood there a lot of the time. It was amazing. It was incredible.
Very good. Well, hey, Peyton, on behalf of Country Financial, congratulations.
Thank you.
And we got one more, I believe, Coach.
Got one more. Noah Drake. Noah Drake has hit some big shots for us. He hit a big shot for us against the Bishop of Bond, against College Heights at the end of a quarter that really gave us a lift. And again, hit some really big shots for us all year.
Noah, how are you?
I'm good. How are you?
I am good. I'm good. Take us a little bit back through this run from your point of view.
I mean, I'm a freshman, so coming into it, I've never played with any of these guys before, but I knew we were going to be really good because I was obviously in the pep club and everything last year watching all them play. So I knew we were going to be really good, and I knew we could win state. So coming into it, I just wanted to win with them.
And it's got to be a motivation for you coming back. You still have 3 more years.
Yeah, so I want to be able to do it again with Peyton and Gavin. I want to do whatever we can to go back because it was a great feeling.
Where were you when the horn went off?
I was on the bench, and I came running off onto the floor, and I couldn't even believe what was happening. Garrett and all of them were going crazy, and then we started a dog pile. It was just an unreal moment. I didn't even know what to think.
All right. Well, Noah, hey, congratulations.
Thank you.
You bet. And Coach Chadwell, I'm sure the The food has tasted better. I mean, everything has just gotten so much better when you put that gold medal around your neck and you're able to take that plaque, back to school. It's got to be something that you've just really enjoyed and will enjoy for a long time.
It is. This is the first state championship on the boys' side. We made it to state several times in baseball and not able to win it. And then fortunate to go last year and not able to win it. But our girls won state championship back in 1994 on the basketball side, and softball had won it as well. But on the boys' side, we've never won a state championship. So this is where I'm from. So I take great pride in the community and the school, and so to bring that back home with this group of guys is just priceless. So.
Probably haven't had to buy a meal in town.
No, I said I may run for mayor. It's not a very big town, but right now I might be able to get it. So.
All right. Well, Coach, on behalf of the Missouri Sports Network, MissouriSportsNetwork.com, and Country Financial, congratulations on Team of the Week, but more importantly, the Class 2 state championship. And I've really enjoyed following you and watching your team play, and it's been fun for me. I've enjoyed it. It's selfish on my part. I just like good basketball. When I see good teams and good people win, I love it. And thank you so much, everybody in the room, for being generous with your time.
Thank you.
Thank you. Thanks for having us on, and thanks for what you do for high school sports and covering us all year. We appreciate it. We really do.
Hey, you bet. Norwood Pirates, Class 2 state champions. That will never get old to hear that, I'm sure. Gentlemen, thank you. You're watching the Missouri Sports Network at MissouriSportsNetwork.com, where everyone has a home field advantage.